I've always known that my house kept secrets. It was as old as the world, with crooked walls and creaky floors. The basement always scared me, a low ceiling that barely reached my height, and an impenetrable darkness hidden behind a heavy door. But that evening, when I was alone, curiosity overcame my fear. Gathering my courage, I reached for the handle. The door creaked open, as if someone was waiting for me on the other side. The smell of mold hit my nose, and for a moment, I wondered if I should go any further. But the light of the flashlight I held in my hand pierced the darkness and drew me down. I descended the stairs, and when my feet touched the cold stone floor, I had no strength left to turn back. The basement was silent, interrupted only by the echo of my breathing. I began to carefully inspect the space. On the shelves lay old, dusty items, books that probably hadn't been opened in decades, antique toys, and some unidentified objects that caused a slight unease. But the longer I stayed there, the more strange things began to happen. At first, I heard a faint rustling sound. I turned around but saw nothing but shadows. Just the wind, I thought, trying to calm myself. But the rustling grew louder. I directed my flashlight toward the source of the noise. My light revealed an old wardrobe, its doors slightly ajar. I stepped closer, and just as I reached out to close them, the wardrobe itself slammed shut. My heart raced in my chest, and I decided it was time to go back. But when I turned around, I froze in terror. In the corner of the basement, where the light could not reach, I saw a silhouette. It was short, with long arms and a pale face. I stood frozen, unable to move. It looked as though it was watching me, and I noticed its eyes beginning to glow with a faint red light. I turned and ran toward the stairs, my feet stumbling on the steps. My flashlight flickered once more and finally went out, leaving me in utter darkness. I blindly lunged forward and finally grasped the doorknob. It wouldn't budge. I began to pull, panic overwhelming me, and then I felt a cold touch on my back. Strength left me, and I screamed. But the sound was muffled, as if absorbed by the very darkness of the basement. At last, the door creaked open, and I burst outside without looking back. I flew into the house, slammed the door behind me, and barricaded it with a chair. But that night, I couldn't sleep. I heard something crash in the basement, as if it had decided that it was time to be free again. And now, whenever someone knocks at the door, I always think, maybe it's it.